അൻപും നിറച്ചു അബലനാമനുജനെ അനുദിനം നയിക്കും ആനന്ദ മേഘായോസേ ആത്മീയ കിരണമാ അജല ചൈതന്യമേ നയിക്കണേ എന്നെ നീ എന്നും നയിക്കണേ എന്നെ നീ. തിയോഫിലോസിൻ കിരണമാം തിയോഫിലോസിൻ കിരണമാം ഉന്നതമാം ഉണ്മയെ ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുമാറാക്കണം. ഉന്നതമാം ഉണ്മയെ ഉൾക്കൊള്ളുമാറാക്കണം. അറിവും അറിവും അൻപും നിറച്ചു അബലനാമനുജനെ അനുദിനം നയിക്കും ആനന്ദ മേഘായോസേ ആത്മീയ കിരണമാ അജല ചൈതന്യമേ നയിക്കണേ എന്നെ നീ എന്നും നയിക്കണേ എന്നെ നീ.
Here, can you please change the slide? Okay, before heading directly into my topic, I would like to introduce you the difference so that you can give your own ideas as well. First is, can you please look into the images? You can see there are two images that I've tried to put into the slide. The first is the traditional classroom that we have seen, like nammalde forefathers nammalu vare oru 6th standard okke vare I hope we have gone through the traditional classroom. Am I correct? And later only we came to know about some of the advances in the technology that leads to the digital classroom. The second picture that I have put in this slide is actually a very sarcastic image in which a teacher is actually looking through, actually crushing through the slide. That is what I felt, or that is what I meant through this particular image. He is trying to fly the rocket through the technological method. That is what is shown in the image. Nikhil, can you please? First of all, the traditional classroom. Traditional classroom എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ, as I have said in the initial point itself, നമ്മളുടെ ancestors-ഉം even നമ്മൾ വരെ കുറച്ച് നാള് പ്രാക്ടീസ് ചെയ്തിരുന്ന ഒരു ക്ലാസ് റൂം മെത്തേഡ് ആണ്, in which a teacher is actually acting as a mediator between the students as well as the knowledge. Teacher will deliver what she knows, or teacher will deliver the knowledge directly to the student with her own method. ടീച്ചറിന്റെ മെത്തേഡ് വെച്ചിട്ടായിരിക്കും ടീച്ചർ ആ ഒരു കണ്ടന്റിനെ ഡെലിവർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. And traditional classroom teaching environment increases the interaction among the students. That we are very familiar, right? Before all these kind of advancement, what is used to happen in the classroom? we'll use to write the notes, we'll use to interact in the classroom, and the teacher delivers something, we'll speak, or we'll put our ideas in between. Ma'am, this can be happen, what is that? In between, that kind of interaction can be happen. So it's a very friendly environment for us. It provides a conductive environment to learn fellow students. നമ്മൾ വളരെ കണ്ടക്റ്റീവ് ആയിരിക്കും. ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് സംതിങ് വെരി റിസർവ്ഡ് ഓർ പ്രിസർവ്ഡ് ലൈക്ക് ഒരു ഡൊമെയിനിലിരുന്ന് നമ്മൾ വർക്ക് ചെയ്യത്തില്ല. ഇൻസ്റ്റെഡ് വെരി കണ്ടക്റ്റീവ്. There are actually mass calls in happen in between the classes, like while teacher says some kind of definition or while teacher says some kind of laws, what happens? We'll repeat it together. That is a very conductive kind of environment. The teacher can ask the questions as well as get the ideas from the children. It also encourages higher level of competitiveness among the students. We all know that. Example, I can put on the example as in a mathematics class or in a physics class. While solving the problem, what is usually happening? We'll have we all within us will have a very important tendency, like we'll have to finish the problem as soon as possible. That kind of good competitiveness can be developed inside the child during a traditional classroom system. The social environment at a traditional school is perfect to build a child's character and personality, which is really important. Along with learning, we all must really inculcate a character of നമ്മളൊരു character modification അല്ലെങ്കിൽ നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു personality modification നമ്മൾ പഠിക്കുന്നതിനോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഡെലിവർ ചെയ്യേണ്ട ഒരു കാര്യമാണ്. Imagine that I'm sitting next to Ashna or I'm sitting next to Nikhil and I want a pencil. What is the method that I'll try? Can you please lend me a pencil, or can you please lend me that scale? That is the technique, or that is the manners that we practice. Or do I snatch it from my friend, or will I feel like it's really guilty that I didn't bring my pencil for the classroom? It's really bad that I should ask something help from the others. Angante or guilt feeling ondavunillalo. A kind of cooperativeness is what we learn from the traditional classroom. The traditional method of teaching is when a teacher directs students to learn through the memorization and recitation technique, which is very, very common. From the very basic classes onwards, we learn everything in a very recitation technique. Like we learned ABCD, like ABCD, that kind of recitation technique we have practiced in the ABCD. We have tried to learn multiplication through the recitation technique. We have learned the month of the year through the recitation technique. Also, along with that, we learn something like the memorization, that is rote memorization. Technically, what the teacher says, we'll digest or we'll suck it out. നമ്മൾ അതുപോലെ തന്നെയാണ് എടുക്കുന്നത്. അല്ലാണ്ട് നമ്മൾ അതിനെ ഒരു മോഡിഫൈ ചെയ്ത് നമ്മളുടെ ഒരു വേർഷനിൽ പറയുന്നതിനെക്കാട്ടിലും, if suppose a teacher is going to give you a sentence or definition about what is a force, the child will say the same thing. Child അതിനൊരു ഒരു വേരിയൻസ് കൊടുക്കാൻ തയ്യാറാവത്തില്ല. Kind of it's actually good in one way, it's not that good in other way. All those kind of methods are being practiced in a traditional method. It improves mental alertness. While a teacher get into the classroom, what we think is that we'll just get up and respect the person, right? That kind of alertness will happen. While in a digital classroom, there are chances like some will not look into the other things that is happening around the class. So the below two images are the traditional classes images. Now coming to the disadvantage of the traditional classroom. Everything has some positive sides and everything has some negative side. That is how everything that we see around us. Coming to the traditional classroom disadvantages, students' focus is set in the wrong direction by taking notes instead of understanding and engrossing ideas. The following points that I'm going to mention will be based on a lecture type of method. Lecture method ne base ചെയ്തിട്ടായിരിക്കും ഞാൻ ഈ താഴെ പറയുന്ന disadvantages വരുന്നത്. When a teacher says a lot of things, what happens is that there can be a wrong direction. After sometimes the child can daydream, or after sometimes the instead of understanding or taking up the idea, the child may get distracted because of constant lecturing happens. Too much focus on presentation, little time left for practice. I've set an example of maths in the advantage section. Now in the disadvantage section, I can put forward you like language subject or anything. What happens is that the teacher actually gives a presentation. Presentation is more and very little amount of practice. Does the teacher write any words or sentences or anything on the board? The blackboard usage will be very much less in that case. അപ്പൊ അതൊരു ഡിസഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് ആയിട്ട് വരാം. ദാറ്റ് ഈസ് ഇഫ് ദ പ്രാക്ടീസ് ഇസ് നോട്ട് ഹാപ്പനിങ്, നമ്മൾ ഒരേ ഒരു കാര്യത്തിൽ ഫോക്കസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടിരിക്കുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് ഗ്രാജുവലി എവറി പേഴ്സൺ വിൽ ഗെറ്റ് ഡിസ്ട്രാക്റ്റഡ്. A teacher's lecture is generally one size fits all. When a teacher delivers a content, what she do is that she try to, without any kind of digital aids or anything, what she try to do is that she will present everything based on her convenience of presenting, and she'll generalizes it. If any class edukana, there are 10 children in my class, I'll deliver my content in my convenient way that I believe that എല്ലാവർക്കും മനസ്സിലാവും എന്നുള്ള രീതിയിൽ ഒരൊറ്റ ഫിറ്റിലായിരിക്കും ഞാനത് ഡെലിവർ ചെയ്യുന്നത്. I will not be able to go to, or I will not make it as soluble the content. കണ്ടന്റിനെ ഏറ്റവും സിംപ്ലിഫൈഡോ സോളിബിളോ ആക്കാൻ ഞാൻ ശ്രമിക്കത്തില്ല, but I'll try to balance between the extremes. Now coming to the digital classroom. Digital classroom is actually where a physical classroom extends into a digital space. As we know, you can just imagine how a digital classroom looks. ഒരു ക്ലാസ്സിൽ ഒരു ടീച്ചറിനോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ ഷീ ഈസ് ആക്ച്വലി ഇൻട്രൊഡ്യൂസിങ് ദ ചൈൽഡ് ടു another room or another platform. As a digital classroom refers to a classroom that is fully immersed in technology. The classroom will be mainly on technology. If a digital classroom technology ke aayirikkum advancement koodal rather than the teacher's input. Alle ഈ PPT ഇപ്പൊ presentations നടക്കുകയാണ്, അപ്പൊ ടീച്ചർ വിൽ ട്രൈ ടു എലാബറേറ്റ് വാട്ട് ഷീ സീസ് ഇൻ ദ സ്ക്രീൻ rather than പുള്ളിക്കാരത്തിയുടെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ടീച്ചർ പറയുന്നത് അത് സ്ലൈഡിലുണ്ടോ എന്ന് നോക്കുകയല്ല, സ്ലൈഡിലുള്ള കാര്യത്തിനെ ടീച്ചർ എലാബറേറ്റ് ചെയ്യാണ് ശ്രമിക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ ടെക്നോളജി ഈസ് ആക്ച്വലി സ്റ്റാൻഡിങ് അപ്പ്. These classrooms rely on educational apps and websites to enhance student learning. It's actually a very much teacher koreyum kude, the teacher can actually put the students in a very big or wide area than a student in namukku place cheyan pattum. The teacher can try to introduce a lot of educational apps, websites and everything to this technology. Like JBus ആണെങ്കിലും JCross ആണെങ്കിലും ഇങ്ങനത്തെ ഓരോ കാര്യങ്ങൾ teachers trying to introduce that kind of advancement can happen both to the teacher as well as for the students. Now, what are the 5 elements that join together to make a digital classroom? നമുക്ക് പറയാം. അതായത് ഈ ഒരു 5 elements ആണ് that makes a digital classroom more perfect. The first is that there is no fixed teacher. As evident, the students of a digital classroom can choose to learn from any source. We know that നമ്മളൊരു content നമ്മൾ search ചെയ്യാൻ നേരത്ത് തന്നെ നമുക്കറിയാം the content delivered by different people according to their perspectives are actually being that can be extracted. So there is no particular teacher, no fixed teacher. Instead, there are a lot of sources or there are a lot of definitions that can be taken down. Data-driven lessons. Most of the lessons will be softed lessons, that will not be hard copy. Hard copy ആ രീതിയിലായിരിക്കില്ല, വളരെ സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ബേസ്ഡ് ആയിരിക്കും, വളരെ വിഷ്വലി അപ്പീലിംഗ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള തരത്തിലായിരിക്കും. അതായത് എല്ലാ ചിൽഡ്രനെയും എല്ലാ സ്റ്റുഡന്റിനെയും അട്രാക്ട് ചെയ്യാനും ഹോൾഡ് ചെയ്യാനും പറ്റുന്ന രീതിയിൽ തന്നെയായിരിക്കും, ഏറ്റവും സോളിബിൾ ആയിട്ടുള്ള രീതിയിൽ തന്നെയായിരിക്കും ഒരു ഡിജിറ്റൽ ക്ലാസ് റൂം ഉണ്ടാക്കാൻ ശ്രമിക്കുക. And third point is efficiency. And this solubility or the simplicity of a digital classroom make that classroom more effective. അല്ലെ ഇപ്പൊ ഒരു വളരെ അഡ്വാൻസ്ഡ് ആയിട്ടൊരു ടോപ്പിക്കിനെ കാണിക്കുകയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ there are children who are in the extreme points. There are children who can understand, there are children who cannot understand. അപ്പം അത് അവിടെ സക്സസ്ഫുൾ ആവത്തില്ല. Feedback along with the presentation. It's not like presentation alone. Avade tricky ആയിട്ടുള്ള crosswords കാണും, fill in the blanks കാണും, match the following കാണും, പിന്നെ instances put forward ചെയ്തിട്ട് what do you understand from this kind of feedback can be gained from the children. Futuristic lessons, reviews കാണും, advanced ആയിട്ടുള്ള exercises, അങ്ങനത്തെ എല്ലാ കാര്യങ്ങളും ഈ ഒരു all these 5 actually elements contribute a very perfect digital classroom. So to sum up, a good digital classroom must use technology appropriately to increase the teacher contact to time to collaborate and discuss rather than delivery of the content. Uh, a good digital classroom actually works properly if it collaborates well with a teacher എന്ന് പറയുന്നതായിരിക്കും correct. ടീച്ചറും ടെക്നോളജിയും ഈക്വലി ഇമ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്ത് ആ ഒരു ഹാൻഡ്സ് ഓൺ ആയിട്ട് പോവാന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഇറ്റ് വിൽ മേക്ക് എ മോർ എഫക്റ്റീവ്. It must create an environment that increases the student responsibility. If the students are silent, what happens? The class will not be that entertaining. The class will feel so tired. There can be a draining of energy even without working. The children are still sitting. Calmly hear ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ്. The other senses are not that working properly. So it is highly important that the student responsibility should be ensured. Must have a blend of direct instructions and a constructive learning. Constructivism വേണം. കുട്ടികളിൽ നിന്നും നമുക്ക് കളക്ട് ചെയ്യണം ideas. So we should ask the children and we should get it from them also instead of delivering directly to them. And finally, coming to the sole topic, that is the challenges of the teacher. What are the challenges of the teacher? Introduced technology is not always preferred. That is, എല്ലാ സമയങ്ങളിലും നമുക്ക് ഈ ടെക്നോളജി എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് നമുക്ക് അപ്രോപ്രിയേറ്റ് ആയിട്ട് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റണം എന്നില്ല. ലൈക്ക് ഇൻ ദ കേസ് ഓഫ് സോൾവിങ് എ പ്രോബ്ലം, വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ്, ദ ടീച്ചർ വിൽ നോട്ട് ഫൈൻഡ് ഇറ്റ് കൺവീനിയന്റ് ടു ഷോ ദ step by step on a slide or in a presentation mode. The teacher will feel more comfortable when she write it and solve it and show it to her. And getting the answers that makes the teacher satisfied as well as the student mean more understanding. Different device capabilities and instructions. The teacher should be more flexible in handling different kind of advanced technologies as well. Karanam initially how it started is that oru digital board start ചെയ്തിരുന്ന സമയത്ത് it was actually through a projector alone. Later it advanced to a touch board, and now I'm not that sure that how it later advanced, because till where I have studied, it was still the touch board itself. Our advancement in a copy and the teacher has to make herself flexible. It's easy for the students to get distracted. It is very important, as I've said before. Student in still student in ബാക്കി senses ഒന്നും work ചെയ്യുന്നില്ല. അപ്പൊ what he or she do is that there are a lot of chances of daydreaming, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ എന്തെങ്കിലും വേറെ കാര്യങ്ങളിലോട്ട് തോട്ട്സ് പോവാനും ശ്രദ്ധയെ fully പോവാൻ ചാൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. Not for one or two, maybe the whole class get distracted. അപ്പം the students in our distraction നമ്മൾ ഹാൻഡിൽ ചെയ്യാന്ന് പറയുന്നത് it's a challenge for the teacher. Technology can affect lesson time and flow. There are mainly the traditional teacher who used to handle the classes for a long period of time. അവർക്ക് എന്തായിരിക്കും ഒരു ചാപ്റ്റർ കിട്ടുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് they'll cover the chapter like a flow. അവർക്കൊരു ഫ്ലോയിൽ, അവരുടേതായിട്ടൊരു ഫ്ലോയിലായിരിക്കും അവരുടെ ആ ഒരു ചാപ്റ്റർ ഒരു മൂവ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്നത്. ബട്ട് വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ് ഇൻ എ വെരി ടെക്നോളജിക്കൽ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഈ ഡിജിറ്റൽ പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോംസിൽ they are maintained in a different way. ഒരു ഭയങ്കര ഡിഫറെന്റ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു കൺസ്ട്രക്ഷനിലായിരിക്കും അത് കൊടുത്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. സോ ദാറ്റ് വിൽ ബി ലിറ്റിൽ മോർ ചാലഞ്ചിങ് ഫോർ സർട്ടൻ ട്രഡീഷണൽ ടീച്ചേഴ്സ്. ടീച്ചേഴ്സ് നീഡ് മോർ പ്രൊഫഷണൽ ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ്. Professionally developed ആയിരിക്കണം, other than the pen and the chalk and the board. Not everyone has technology at home. We know that in the pandemic situation, the teachers got shifted to the virtual platform. There are teachers who are not convenient or not that capable or in handling the technology at the home, the laptops or the other Zoom technologies at the home. Not all teachers believe in using technology. There are teachers who believes in using the technology or ready to get advanced, but there are teachers who are very adamant that they wanted to go through the traditional methods itself. വളരെ traditional ആയിട്ടുള്ള chalk and board method തന്നെ follow ചെയ്യാൻ വളരെ stubborn ആയിരിക്കുന്ന teachers. It's not stubbornness, അവർ convenient ആയതുകൊണ്ട് they will stand for that. And lack of adequate ICT support, infrastructure or time. ICT supportum, infrastructure time. While entering a class, it's really important that the teacher has to be very much focused. Karanam ellam connect ചെയ്തു വരുമ്പോൾ തന്നെ ഇത്, even though it is properly going, there can be a chance of lagging some seconds or some minutes. So ആ ഒരു കാര്യത്തിൽ teacher should be very much cautious. tensions between students and teacher. There can happen some tensions between the students as well as the teacher, because that interaction is being decreased or diminishing. The children are given something to see, understand, and everything. So the teacher will not that get that satisfaction, as well as the student also will not get that, may not get that pure idea about what it should be learned. So I think the topic is being done. So I'm asking you, it's not a since how many of you can say that? Can anybody try saying a disadvantage of a traditional classroom or a disadvantage of a digital classroom that you have noticed?
Shilpa, hello.
Partner Roshan.
എനിക്ക് തോന്നിയ ഒരു കാര്യം ഞാൻ പറയാം. As we all know that senses are the gateways of knowledge. അതായത് നമ്മളൊരു കാര്യം നമ്മുടെ ഒന്നിലധികം സെൻസസ് ഉപയോഗിച്ച് പഠിക്കുമ്പോഴാണ് അത് കൂടുതൽ എഫക്റ്റീവ് ആകുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ ഒരു ട്രഡീഷണൽ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ ഞാൻ നോട്ടീസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുള്ളൊരു കാര്യം, ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സ് മാത്രമേ അവിടെ നടക്കുന്നുള്ളൂ. ഹിയറിംഗ്, ടീച്ചർ എന്ത് പറയുന്നു, കുട്ടി അത് കേൾക്കുന്നു എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു പ്രോസസ്സ് മാത്രമാണ് അവിടെ നടക്കുന്നത്. അപ്പം ലേണിംഗ് എന്ന് പറയുന്ന ഒരു കാര്യം അവിടെ എഫക്റ്റീവ് ആകുന്നില്ല. പക്ഷെ നമ്മളൊരു ഡിജിറ്റൽ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിലേക്ക് വരുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് വീഡിയോസ്, ജിഫ്, പ്രസന്റേഷൻസ് ഒക്കെ യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് കുറെ കൂടി അത് എഫക്റ്റീവ് ആക്കാൻ കഴിയും. ഒരു മൾട്ടി സെൻസറി അപ്രോച്ചാണ് അവിടെ വരുന്നത്. അപ്പൊ അതാണ് എനിക്കൊരു ഡിജിറ്റൽ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിലെ ഒരു ഡിസഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് ആയിട്ട് തോന്നുന്നത്. പക്ഷെ ട്രഡീഷണൽ ക്ലാസ് റൂമിൽ ഒരു ഡിസഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് ആയിട്ട് തോന്നുന്നത് അതാണ്. ഡിജിറ്റൽ ക്ലാസ് റൂം വരുമ്പോൾ ഇപ്പൊ എല്ലാ സ്കൂളിലും പ്രോപ്പർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഒരു ഇൻഫ്രാസ്ട്രക്ചർ ഫെസിലിറ്റി വേണമെന്നില്ലല്ലോ. അപ്പം അതാണ് അവിടെ ഒരു ഡിസഡ്വാൻറ്റേജ് ആയിട്ട് തോന്നുന്നത്.
Okay, thank you, Roshan. There are ആർക്കെങ്കിലും പറയാനുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ you can actually contribute. If no one has got any idea, then thank you so much.
ഞാൻ നോ സെൻഡ് ചെയ്തു, പക്ഷേ I have some net issues.
Okay. So what I want to tell here is, Shilpa already mentioned so many comments regarding the traditional and digital classroom. Just I want to add some more points. What is the real major difference? Before this virtual or digital classroom comes itself, it was multi-sensory because we were using so much of techniques before diagnostics and other theories was really emerging. Then we were using so many techniques to make the teaching multi-sensory mode. But what is the main difference? I have to make it in 3 ways. In 3 ways, traditional classroom system completely changed in digital. That is, one is traditional classroom system was custom based, ritual based, religious based. I think it's clear. Custom based, ritual based, religious based. That is, custom means you already know that when a child come to the class in the first day itself, boy has to sit in the left, girl has to sit in the right. The teachers are really picking the hand and make the child to sit in the left and right. There itself the discrimination between boys and girls are emerging. And you are learning in the school for 10, 12 years and you are really doing the same play, same role, I have to say same position, same side. Even if you are just to change your side itself, you are not feeling okay. So that was the customs. Even that is in the assembly. Boys are in some schools. They first of all they were attending boys. Then girls. In some they are parallel. In no any school is not opting that you have to be together. So that type of custom. Not only this, so many such customs. I'm simply saying because all of us was part of that. So I'm simply saying that. Another one is rituals. When the even if the student is not feeling okay, when the teacher comes to the class, student have to stand up. Then how everything is going on in the classroom, there is a particular pattern. You have to, that is it. You have to, that's important. You have to copy the pattern. There is no any alter or any modifications or any other types of additions are really accepted by any traditional classroom system. So that was the second thing. And another one is about the religious. Religious that never means that it's about Christianity, Muslim, Islam or Hindu. It's about a religious pattern of teaching was there in every schools, in every institutions. It never mentioned whether it is belongs to minority or majority institutions. It is have such a pattern. But virtual classroom comes, all these were removed and the system became more creative. Now, various customs. We do not know how many boys and girls are studying with us. Now you know because you all know each other. If you do not have an offline session and you don't have any college like Mathew and you are just my students here coming on a particular time and going, you cannot know how many of you are boys, how many of you are girls who are sitting, and we don't know that like that. Another one is about inquiry mode of learning is there. That is, we have to find everything new. Because each and every student can share their ideas and come with their own ideas there, and so there is an inquiry mode of presentation will be there in virtual system. At the same time, this religious mode is changed to faith. I had to say faith. That is, more system become more open. It is even in which all community we belongs. Now we are ready to accept. We are ready to be part of all the. I have to say all the inmates belongs to our learning group. So if a person from North India is learning with us, Deepavali, you are going to celebrate Deepavali with the person. If there is some other small customs of small local places is learning with us, we are going to be part of that. That is our virtual platform is open for all the students in which they can freely interact as well as they can freely share their ideas in all the way. So what happens is that the challenge really is on the teachers. Teachers as well as students both are becoming more demanding, more responsible, more interactive. Demanding, responsible as well as interactive. If it is not possible, if the teacher is not competent for interaction, virtual platform will not work any good. Same time, demanding means each and every student is different. So that is another thing that the teacher is going to face. At the same time, responsibility. This is the responsibility of the student that they have to learn, because teacher is not there to pick him. So what happens? Only if you want to learn, you can learn. If you want to write the exam, you can write. If you want to skip, you can skip. Nobody is bothering about you. So it's a responsibility of the student to do that, and the responsibility of the teacher is that the teacher has to motivate a child to write the exam. So motivation is becoming more important in digital classroom. So what the things we are really missing? What the thing we are really missing in digital classroom is simply the smile of your teacher. The smile of your teacher, or we can say the emotional backup of your teacher. Emotional backup of your teacher is what we are really missing in digital platform. All the other things is favoring in the digital platform than in the traditional classroom. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much, Shilpa, for that. Now that's the end of it. Now I invite Shilpa. Is there still now? Shilpa Mary. Okay. 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 So I invite Lakshmy for concept attainment model.
I am going to present about the concept attainment model. First, we will discuss about the models of teaching. Models of teaching is some guidelines, plans, or techniques designed to realize specific instructional objectives. They differ from general teaching methods in sense that are designed to meet specific objectives only. Some models have broad applications, whilst others are designed for very specific purpose only. There are the teaching models have been organized into 4 families based on of way they approach the educational goals and means. There are 4 families which are information process models, social interaction models, personal models, and behavior modification models. I am dealing with the information process model because concept attainment model is coming under this family. So we will discuss first about a brief about the information processing model. Here the model emphasizes the way in which students process information. How the students process information is discussed in this model. The aim is to help students to develop the method of process information from the environment. It includes the sensing problems, collecting data, and organizing, generating concepts, and arriving at the solutions. These are all done in the information process model. And in this model, not only the concept attainment model is one of which come under this family, there are also advanced organized model, cognitive growth model, inductive thinking model, and inquiry training model also included in this information processing model. So we will go to details of concept attainment model. It is the model of teaching has been presented by Brunner, Goodnow, and Austin. Jerome Brunner is the one who put forward the model, who made the model more popular. This model is designed to help students become more effective in learning concepts. The model has been developed from study of thinking. By study of thinking, this model has been developed. The concept attainment strategy as a model of teaching is concerned with the 2 separate but related ideas, the nature of concepts and the thinking process. The nature of concept and thinking process, both are used in this concept attainment model. So first we will go to nature of concept. Concept is a key building block for the structure of a knowledge and various academic discipline, or a concept is a mental representation or mental picture of some objects or experience. The concept includes 5 elements, which are name, examples, attributes, attribute value, and rules. The name is what which describe the concept for communication, or it is a term or label given to a category. Example, it may be conductor, book, phone. That's all called the names. Examples are they refer to the instance of the concept or that represent the concepts that relate. There are some clues to the concept. There are some positive example and some there are positive and negative example. The positive example which obey the essential cues or which is positive or which it is essential for our concept, and the negative examples are that do not satisfy all codes but are needed for grouping the meaningful and definite. These are called positive and negative example. Next one is the attribute, which is the third element. It is the feature or characteristics of the objects or what concept are that we are going to. Though for what the characteristics of the example, the positive example we are given, that has been explained in the attribute, which helps to distinguish the concept from non-instant. Every concept has two types of attributes, essential attribute and non-essential attribute. In essential attribute, common features of the concept, they are presented in all example of the concept. Or in non-essential attribute, some of the slight difference among the examples of the categories reflect. I will show you an example. Here I am given a positive example and negative example. In the positive example, I have given sugar, paper, charcoal, pencil, lead, diamond, and chalk. In negative example, I have given table, salt, gold, silver, and water. The common or the essential attribute is that in the positive example, we can see that these are also all carbon compounds. This is called the essential attribute. These are the carbon compounds and these are non-carbon compounds. In non-essential attribute, we can say that the examples we given, the essential attribute may be classified as these are the charcoal or the diamond or pencil lead. I'm going to convey about the allotrope of carbon. Here, diamond is one of the allotrope, and sugar or chalk may be considered as a compounds of carbon. That is called essential and non-essential. In essential, there is the common feature of the concept, and non-essential, there is a slight difference. That is called essential and non-essential attributes. Next one is attribute value. It refers to the acceptable range for any relevant attribute. It is called the acceptable range for any given relevant attribute. And rule is the definition or the statement of the concept. It is based on the essential attribute. That is called what we are going to study, the concept. The definition for the concept is called the rule. These are the 5 elements of the concept. When a learner can identify this positive example of the concept from the negative example on the basis of the essential attributes and can distinguish between the essential and non-essential attribute in the positive example of a concept, then we can say that the students have attained the concept. Next is the syntax. Syntax is called the main steps the teaching through the model, or the 3 phases have been given for the development of the model, or what are the stages that is occurring in the model is called the syntax. Here there are 3 phases. First one is presentation of data and identification of the attribute. Here the teacher presents the labeled S or and no examples arranged from simple to more difficult, and the students compare the attributes of the example and non-example in order to identify the common attributes of S examples. Here in the first phase, this is called the first phase. The teacher have given the positive example and negative example, and the student has to say about the common features. That is called in the first phase. In the second phase, testing the attainment of the concept. Here the teacher will be given, I will show the slide. A teacher will give some common examples that is related to his concept or his or her concept. Teacher will give some example, and the students have to arrange to it according to what they have understood. They have to classify them to according to our concept. That is like this. Here I am the example I have given is transferred to two categories. There is one elemental stage and a combined stage. The students can categorize these examples to an category. First, we have given the positive example and negative example, so the concept is attained. And in the second, we are given some unlabeled example, and students have to label it. This is done in the second or the second phase, that is the testing attainment of the concept. And the third phase is the analysis of thinking strategy. Here the students discuss how they have attained this concept, that is tested or they are analyzed through their thinking strategy. That is called the third phase. This phase 1, presentation of data and identification of attributes. Then this phase 2, testing attainment of the concept. And the phase 3, analysis of thinking strategies. Then the social system. The nature of the social structure goes on changing. The teacher assumes a major role initially in choosing the concept, selecting and organizing and sequencing the data. The teacher have to collect the examples and the concept and select. In subsequent phases, students' interaction is encouraged. The teachers have to give an opportunity to students to interact with. These are all done in the social system. And this principle of reaction, during this at the teaching learning process, teacher supports the hypothesis by formulated by the students. Teacher act as a guide, motivator and facilitator in this process. And here an atmosphere of meaningful dialogue is being occur, and this is focused on the specific features of the each example. Students discuss and evaluate their thinking strategies with the proper assistance of the teacher. Support system is like the materials that have been provided for attaining this concept. Yeah. These may be presented as real objects or in the form of pictures, sketch, diagrams, event, or any other illustration. Here in this presentation, I have used the Jamboard as one of the support system. These are called the support system. Next one is the instructional effect and natural effect. Here the instructional effect is getting clear notion about the nature of concept, developing skills in using appropriate concept building strategies, and as attaining the specific concept, developing skills in inductive thinking. Natural effect is the logical reasoning. The students have to think logically, and uh, they have to a tolerance of ambiguity and initial errors. They have to avoid their initial errors, and they have to develop their concept according to their thinking. A sense of using alternative perspectives should also be there. These are the instructional effect and the natural effect. This is the strategies of the concept attainment model, or the stages. We can call it as the on the basis of the pre-active, interactive, and post-active stages. Like we can set this like this. The stage 1 is the teacher have to planning for the concept attainment, identification of the goal, a selection of examples, sequencing of example, and a medium of presentation should be planned. That is called a pre-active phase. In the interactive stage, the teacher have to implement the concept attainment activities, presenting the examples and analysis of example. In the post-active, we can say that evaluating the concept attainment activities is done in the stage 3. And the merge or the advantages of this model is to help the students to make connection between what they have already know and what they will be learning. That is called the inductive reasoning. They have to from a particular to general, from particular to general, they have to come to the concept. Learn how to examine a concept from number of perspectives. Concept is learned more thoroughly and retention is improved in this process. In D-months, we can say that the miscommunication in the concept attainment could be the drawback of an educational process, and also the students become more too verbal and shout out answers will be there. That is called the demerits. And also we can say that there are so much of application for this model. This model can be used as a teaching of language, grammar, science, and fundamentals of mathematics, and can be used as an evaluation tool too. This model can be used with the students of all grades. Or in conclusion, I can say that the concept attainment model has a great relevance for the teacher who intended to improve the instructional system. This model guides teachers to go to deep of the content and helps students to attain new concept. Thank you.
any more clarification because we already gone through that a lot of times. If any doubts, you can ask now. Any doubt? Is it clear for everyone? I think switch is near to you. You can unmute yourself. Okay. Thank you, Lakshmi. You presented all the topic very clearly and you included all of it. Very good. Now I invite Nikhil. Nikhil is there. Inquiry training model.
Good afternoon. So, in the previous session, Lakshmi gave an introduction to the models of teaching and the concept attainment model. Now, I am here to explain the inquiry training model. So, let me start my presentation. Inquiry training model is also from the information processing in the family information processing models. For us, it is an important model. That is, we learn its theory, and also we practice it during our practice teaching sessions. So, in the previous criticism session, our friends Kavya and Georgia have done their criticism lessons based on inquiry training model. So, I am sure that you can connect the theory and the theory part as easily. So, look at the picture in the title slide. The inquiry training model is just based on these three photographs. I mean, not the exact theory, just based on this. In the first picture, there is a question in the mind of that person. That is, he has some queries about something, and when he has to face a puzzling situation, in the terms of inquiry training model, we call it as a discrepant event. Such a discrepant event, when he faces, there will be a lot of questions in his mind. So from the answers in the next figure, he processes it on his own mind and generate an idea. This is the basic thing that is happening in the inquiry training model. In inquiry training model, the teacher, basically in inquiry training model, the teacher presents a discrepant event, that is a puzzling situation to the students, and from the discrepant event, the students start asking questions to the teacher, and from the teacher's reply, the student analyzes all the answers of the teacher and process it and generate an idea about the topic that the teacher is dealing with. This is actually happening in the inquiry training model. As I said earlier, inquiry training model is also a model of teaching in the family information processing model. So, talking about the model, it was developed by Richard Setchman in 1962, and the aim of the model is to promote the art of inquiry. That means the inquiry is an art, and the model is intended to promote the art of inquiry among the students, and it teaches students a process of inquiry and helps the students to improve their process skills. I think that term is familiar for you, process skills that we have learned in the first semester, that is observing, measuring, classifying information of hypothesis, etc. So this model helps the students to improve their process skills and language of inquiry. Specifically saying the language of inquiry, in this model, the teacher asks the student to ask questions in the yes or no format. If the student if the student failed to ask questions in yes or no format, the teacher guide them, or teacher asks them to rephrase the questions into yes or no format. So by using this model, the students can improve their process skills and the language of inquiry. So it was developed by Richard Setchman in 1962 to promote the art of inquiry among the students. So before planning an inquiry training model, we have some basic assumptions. So data that are listed here. They are: a student inquire naturally when they are puzzled. When a puzzling situation arises, the students start asking questions about that. So they became conscious of and learn to analyze their thinking strategies. New strategies can be taught directly and added to their existing ones. Cooperative inquiry enriches thinking and helps the students to learn about tentative and emerging nature of knowledge and appreciate alternative explanations. So the last point is the main one. The curiosity is the basic instinct possessed by every human. This is the base of the four points above. So when a curious situation, when we are curious about something, we will start asking questions, and this enhances these all points. So these are the basic assumptions that we made before inquiry training model. So coming to the specific objectives of the model, so by using inquiry training model in a classroom, we aim to develop scientific process skills among the students, develop strategies for creative inquiry, to develop autonomy in learning, that is self-learning, to develop among students the ability to tolerate ambiguity, to make the students understand the tentative nature of learning. These are the specific objectives of the inquiry training model. So looking at the focus areas, the main focus of inquiry training model is to enhance the thinking ability of the student, to enable them to form conclusion based on fact, to enable them to have fluency in their thinking and speaking, more specialty to impart training of inquiry skills among the students. These are the focus of inquiry training model. So coming to the syntax, as in the concept attainment model, there is 3 phases. And coming to the inquiry training model, there are 5 phases, and these are the 5 phases. The phase 1 is encountering the problem. Phase 2 is the data gathering verification step. And phase 3 is the data gathering experimentation. Phase 4 is formulating rules of explanation. And phase 5 is the analysis of the inquiry process. So explaining each, the phase 1 is the encountering the problem. In this phase, the teacher plays a prominent role, and in this phase, the teacher presents the descriptive event or a puzzling situation to the student in the form of a teaching aid or a chart or video or anything. By anything, teacher introduces a descriptive event to the students and explains the inquiry procedures. By explaining the inquiry procedure means the teacher explains the steps. That means the students have to ask yes or no questions and direct them to the topic, and teacher has to encourage them asking questions. And if they ask a question, not a type of yes or no question, the teacher has to direct the student to rephrase it as yes or no question. These are the things happening in the phase 1. That is, teacher presents the descriptive event to the students and explains the inquiry procedure. So in the next thing, the phase 2, that is the data gathering verification step. In this phase, the students start inquiring, start questioning the teacher. And students questions in yes or no type questions. So students inquire about the nature and identifies the object, event, and condition related to the problem. In this segment, the student asks questions based on the descriptive event about its nature and identify some objects in the descriptive event and conditions related to that. They ask questions in a yes or no format. And the data, the answers of the teacher and the points related to yes answers will be noted by the students on their data sheets or in book, or teacher can write it on the board also. This is the phase 2. So coming to the phase 3, the student got a basic idea about the descriptive event or the topic in the lesson. So sorry, I got a problem. So in the phase 3, the student analyze the situations and they formulate the relevant variables. And from the replies of the teacher, they identify the relevant variables and they form a hypothesis from the data they have gathered and ask questions to the teacher to test it. And if the generated ideas and after they generate an idea or a hypothesis, they start asking questions again to the teacher, and teacher replies as yes or no. And if they think that if from the answers of the teacher by experimenting it, if the generated idea seems verified, they will move to the next phase. Otherwise, if they think that the generated ideas was wrong, they will once again go back to the phase 2 and ask questions again. So in the phase 3, the students discuss and identify the variables and form a hypothesis and verify it to the teacher by asking questions. If that is verified, they will move to the phase 4, and if it is not verified, they once again gather data gathers data once again. So in the phase 4, the student formulate the explanations on the basis of data that they have gathered from the asking teacher. They have and discussions, and with their prior knowledge, they will formulate an explanation of the discrepant event. The student formulates rules or explanation as the solution to the discrepant event through simple causation. That means simple cause-effect relations, and they are analyzing the properties of the discrepant event and classifying it, or analogy, explaining the difference between the difference from their prior knowledge, and through all things, through simple causation relations, etc. They formulate an explanation to the discrepant event. This is happening in the fourth phase. Only at the fourth phase, the student verifies and formulate the idea regarding the about the discrepant event. So in the last phase, that is the analysis of the inquiry procedure. In this phase, the teacher helps them to analyze how they reached at the topic, or how they how they overcome the discrepant event, or that is with the help of the teacher, student identifies how they reached the phase 4. So in this phase, the teacher guides the student to analyze their thinking and questioning patterns. They also decide with the help of the teacher, the student realize what are the information that help them to find the solution, or which are the factors that mislead them from the solution, and they discuss themselves and with the teacher about the factors which influence the inquiry effectively and adversely. These are the this is the last and final step of the inquiry training model. So once again, looking back to the syntax, there are 5 phases in the inquiry training model. Phase 1 is the encountering of the problem. In this phase, the teacher presents the discrepant event to the students and explains the inquiry procedure. In phase 2, the students start asking yes or no questions to the teacher, and from that they records the valuable responses from the teacher. In the phase 3, they isolate their relevant variables and formulate an idea about the discrepant event. They start asking questions again to the teacher in order to verify that, in order to verify their hypothesis. If the hypothesis is verified, they will move to the 4th phase, and it is not, they will once again go to the phase 2 and gather the data once more. In the 4th phase, they have formulated the rules for explanation. They will explain the discrepant event based on their observations in the by cause-effect relationship, by properties of the event, and so on. They formulate the rules of explanations, and at the last stage, with the help of teacher, the student analyzes their thinking strategy, their inquiry procedure, etc. So these are the 5 phases in the inquiry training model. Coming to the social system. Social system means what are the things that happens in the classroom. What is the social condition of the classroom while we are using an inquiry training model. In coming to the inquiry training, social system of the inquiry training model, in the preparatory phase, the teacher has a prominent role. That is, teacher designs the puzzling situation. Teacher select the situation and present it to the students. And there is no role for students in the phase 1. They are merely just observe the thing. That is only role of the student in the phase 1. In the rest of all the phases, the teacher and student play an important role in inquiry training model. In the first 3 phases, the student is prominent, and student asks questions to the teacher, and teacher replies to them, and teacher encourages them to ask more questions and direct them to the topic. In the last session, with the help of the teacher, student analyze their thinking strategies and their inquiry procedure. So in the rest of 4 phases, last 4 phases, that is phase 2, phase 3, and phase 3, and phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, and phase 5, student and teacher play an important role in the classroom. Students learns the principle of inquiry, and teacher guide them, uses their resources, materials, perform some experiments, and conduct discussions in the classroom. These are the conditions in the social conditions in the classroom. Students inquiry, teacher is guiding them, usage of resources, materials, textbook, and whatever they had, they will explore this thing to arrive at the in order to form a hypothesis based on the discrepant event. So an open classroom environment is maintained in during an inquiry training model. So the principle of reaction is that the teacher asks the student to phrase yes or no questions and ask the pupils to be specific their questions, direct the students towards the object, event or condition and proper questions, provide support for generalization, ask the pupils to rephrase the invalid question. That means if the student asks a question which is not a type of yes or no question, the teacher helped them to, or teacher asked them to rephrase the question in yes or no format, and encourage interaction among the pupils. Teacher encourage interaction among the pupils during the inquiry training model, provide a free intellectual environment without evaluating students' questions, review the questions and response to help the student to keep track of the process. These are the principles of reaction that is happening while we're using inquiry training model in a classroom. So coming to the support system means all the specific conditions that are required for the smooth running of all phases of the model is called a support system. So in the inquiry training model, our support system includes the discrepant event or a puzzling situation that we present at the beginning, either through a video or through some teaching aids, etc. The discrepant event is a support system in the inquiry training model, and all the resource materials needed for the solution of the problem or presenting the problem to the students, and proper teaching aids. So I think one of the most important support system required in a inquiry training model is the teacher's intellectual knowledge about the inquiry strategy. If the teacher is not compatible to direct the student to the inquiry training model or direct the inquiry method, the model will be a flop. So teachers' intellectual knowledge about the inquiry strategy is one of the most required support system in an inquiry training model. So coming to the effects, there are two effects in models, that is instructional effects and nurturant effects. Instructional effects are the effects that are the immediate effect after the classroom, and nurturant effect are those the students gain in future by doing inquiry training model. So the instructional effect of the inquiry training model are the develop scientific process skills, develop strategies for creative inquiry. These two are the instructional effects of inquiry training model. Coming to the nurturant effect, it helps to create a spirit of creativity, autonomy in learning, tolerance of ambiguity, and they learn about the tentative nature of knowledge. These are the four nurturant effects of inquiry training model. So coming to advantages and disadvantages. The advantages are we have discussed in the focus points or in the effects. They are development of scientific process skills, development of strategies for creative inquiry, promotes autonomy in learning, develop the spirit of creativity in students, development of the students' ability to tolerate ambiguity, makes the students understand the tentative nature of knowledge. These are the advantages of inquiry training model. The major disadvantages are this model is not applicable to primary contents or subject matters like facts, formulas. We have to present a descriptive event, and all the subject or all the content in a textbook that cannot be changed as a descriptive or a puzzling situation. And I think it will be if a proper descriptive event is not present at the beginning, the smooth functioning will not be ensured. So also the inquiry training model cannot be applied to every puzzling situation. There should be a cause-effect relation, and the cause-effect relation can lead to the generalization. If we take any puzzling situation, I think that will not be effective in the effective. So there requires we are dealing with secondary school students, and in order for them to get a generalization about the topic we are dealing with, there should be a cause-effect relation in the discrepant event. So it cannot be applied to every puzzling situation, and the situation only with a cause-effect relation can lead to a proper generalization in the classroom. So the next one is about teachers. All the teachers are not compatible with the presentation of the descriptive event and lead the students to the generalization. If the teacher is not compatible, I think the inquiry training model won't be effective in a classroom. And consider a large classroom contains around 40 students. I think all students may not participate in the inquiry procedure, and it will focus on some of the students, only few students. So we can make them ask questions, but forcing the students to ask questions will not give a proper social system for the inquiry training model. So it can be considered as a disadvantage for the inquiry training model. That is, all students may not participate in the inquiry process. These are the main disadvantages of the inquiry training model while we are using in a secondary school classroom. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of the inquiry training model. So let us summarizing the points. Inquiry training model is a is used for giving training of inquiry to the students, and this model promotes the process skills, not processing skills, process skills that are helpful for inquiry. The process skills therefore include the observing, collecting, organizing data, identifying the variables in a situation, formulating hypothesis based on cause-effect relationship, experimenting or otherwise listing the hypothesis, inquiring, and drawing conclusions are the process skills that we use in the inquiry training model. Also, the model takes the students through small versions of procedures that scholars use in order to organize knowledge and generate principles that explains causation. This will this is a small version to which help the students to give an idea about how to approach a puzzling situation and how to solve and organize the data and generate principles from the cause-effect relationship. These are all about the inquiry training model. Thank you.
I am appreciating Nikhil for your homework you have done. The slides were really meaningful and systematically you organized it. For that, why you commented that the processing is not processing skill, process skill? Why you told like that, Nikhil?
ടീച്ചർ അറിയാതെ ഞാൻ ചോദിച്ച പ്രോസസ് സ്കിൽസ് അതല്ലേ
Are you confident that what you mean was right? That is process skills. Is that processing skills of inquiry is also correct? In that slide, you told that that's a mistake and it comes process skills is the word which you meant and it was a mistake. But in that sentence, the sentence is processing skills of inquiry. Am I right?
Yes, teacher.
That statement is correct because the inquiry skills are there in this ITM. Asking questions, conducting investigations, experiments, all that are called inquiry skills. And that is, in that way, that statement is correct. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, now I think we already gone through all that. So I think no more any clarification is needed in any of this. So thank you, Nikhil. Now I invite Reeba for advanced organizer model. Reeba is the
ഇപ്പോഴും കേൾക്കാമോ സർ? Is it audible, miss? Hello? Okay, good afternoon, students. My topic is Advanced Organizer Model. So, this Advanced Organizer Model is based on the learning theory of David Oswald. We already studied the learning theory of David Oswald. Based on David Oswald learning theory, the model Advanced Organizer Model is came. So it mainly concentrate on the point, integrate new knowledge with the existing knowledge. The learning theory of David Oswald saying the integrating new knowledge with the existing knowledge, and it is mainly based on verbal learning. That means the medium here it is used is verbal. For meaningful learning, what is required is to make it integrate to the existing cognitive structure. This is the main important thing in the advanced organizer model. So the main concept of the advanced organizer model is that under this model, we organize the knowledge in front of the students in such a way that they can learn the knowledge in a meaningful way by interacting with the knowledge already held in the brain. That means in this concept, mainly concentrating, interacting with the knowledge already held in the brain, and thus new knowledge is given to the students. Main important thing that Oswald says that strengthen the student's cognitive structure. The learner led the new material to existing knowledge. For this, large number of mental activities are done. Learner must be very active to do this mental operation. Hence, before new knowledge is presented, the teacher should ensure the clarity and sufficiency of the existing cognitive structure. Absence of this, that verbal learning degenerates into rote learning. If there any not sufficient existing knowledge is held in the brain, then the learning become rote learning. So we know that whole models contains main elements such as focus, syntax, social system, principle of reaction, support system. Focus means what is the aim of the advanced organizer model, and what is the syntax means phase or steps in the advanced organizer model. Social system means the environment that takes place in the teach class, and principle of reaction means how the teacher and the students reacting, and the support system means what learning material or what learning aid is used. This is the systematic way to study the teaching model. The main elements are focus, syntax, social system, principle of reaction, support system. So we can study detail what are the focus. So focus of advanced organizer model, mainly the main focus of the advanced organizer model is strengthening cognitive structure. So in this focus, we already know, we must be know about what is advanced organizer. We saying advanced organizer model. There is a term advanced organizer. What is advanced organizer? Advanced organizer means primary means of strengthening cognitive structure and enhancing retention of new information is known as advanced organizer. Simply we can say advanced organizer are background knowledge presented by the teacher. What is background knowledge presented by the teacher in advance is known as advanced organizer model. It may be most effective organizer are those that use concept, terms, proposition that are already familiar to the learners, as well as appropriate illustrations can be advanced organizer. Simply advanced organizer means the background knowledge presented by the teacher, and it may be concept, term, proposition. These are advanced organizer. So there are two types of advanced organizer mainly. First one is expository. Expository means provide basic concept at the highest level of abstraction and perhaps some lessons concept. That is, if we use advanced organizer expository model, then it means provide basic concept, then specific knowledge is given. This is known as expository advanced organizer. For example, if I want to teach type of force, then I can use advanced organizer as what? Pull, push, force we can use. This advanced organizer is known as expository. Pull, push, force concept is we using. This pull, push, force is the expository that we use. Firstly, we giving the basic concept, then we enter into the specific concept. This is known as expository. The second one is comparative. The name indicates comparative. Comparative means related. We use advanced organizer relating material. contain concepts similar to the ones to be presented so that familiar relations are established and learning made meaningful. Comparative advanced organizer means we use advanced organizer compare ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുന്ന ഒരു advanced organizer നമ്മൾ യൂസ് ചെയ്യണമെങ്കിൽ അതിനെ comparative എന്ന് പറയാം. For example, I'm saying I want to teach atomic structure. Then I can use solar system. Analogy of solar system has comparative. So what is advanced organizer? Advanced organizer primary background knowledge that given to students is known as advanced organizer. There are two types of advanced organizer: expository and comparative. What is expository? Expository means basic concept firstly given, then specific concept. What is comparative? Comparative means the relating thing is known as comparative. I hope you clear about the advanced organizer. Sorry. Then the next element, what focus? Syntax. Syntax means phases or steps. Mainly advanced organizer uses 3 steps, 3 phases. First I will name it. First one, presentation of the advanced organizer. Second one, presentation of the learning material. Third one, strengthening of cognitive organization. What are the 3 phases? Presentation of the advanced organizer, presentation of the learning material, strengthening of cognitive organization. These are the main 3 phases in advanced organizer, 3 steps. So I will detail this. First one, presentation of the advanced organizer. As the name indicates, presenting advanced organizer. I already mentioned what is advanced organizer. So firstly, in this step, the teacher should clear about the aim, what to teach. Teacher ആദ്യമേ ensure ചെയ്യണം ഞാൻ എന്താണ് ഇവിടെ പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. Then teacher how to check whether he have the cognitive structure sufficient for teaching this new knowledge. ആ കുട്ടിക്ക് ആ ന്യൂ നോളജ് ഗ്രാസ്പ് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള sufficient ആയിട്ടുള്ള cognitive structure ഉണ്ടോ എന്ന് ചെക്ക് ചെയ്യണം. If there is deficiency is noted, then teacher can fill it. This process is carried out through a discussion method, questioning method, feedback method. So in this first phase, what happened? Presentation of the advanced organizer. Firstly, aim should be clearing, then advanced organizer presenting, then before advanced organizer present, we ensure that the cognitive structure is sufficient or not. If it is not sufficient, then it is filled by discussion method, feedback and questioning. For example, I already said that I want to teach atomic structure. So firstly, what I am doing, what I am ensuring the aims of teaching. I am saying my aim here to teach the structure of atom. For this, I am using advanced organizer, which is solar system. It is a comparative advanced organizer. So analogy of working of solar system, I am using. That is the first phase. Second phase is presentation of the learning material. Here we can use in this system, we can use solar system analogy, we can use to teach atomic structure. This is the presenting of learning material. In this presenting of learning material, I mentioned the principle of progressive differentiation. Here we using the principle of progressive differentiation. Principle of progressive differentiation means basic concept first giving and specific concept giving. That is, most general idea are presented firstly and followed by gradual increase in details and specificity is giving in principle of progressive differentiation. Phase 2, we use principle of progressive differentiation. That means hierarchical order of giving knowledge in this process and also presenting the learning material. Then the third phase, the last phase, it is the strengthening of cognitive structure. The cognitive structure is strengthening. In that, we use principle of integrative reconciliation. That means the new knowledge is relating with the old knowledge or previous knowledge. Means new ideas should be consciously related to previous learned content is known as strengthening of cognitive structure. So I hope the main phases of advanced organizer model. First one, presentation of advanced organizer. Second one, presentation of learning task. Third one, strengthening of cognitive structure. So again, I mentioned the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. Presentation of advanced, presentation of learning task, strengthening of cognitive organization. Then we look the elements, focus, syntax. The next third one is social system. Social system means the environment what happened in the classroom. Main social system, the teacher has the control of the intellectual structure. During first two phases, it is highly structured, but during the third phase, more free interaction occurs. That means first two phases. What are the two phases? First one is presentation of advanced organizer and presentation of the learning set. These two steps are mainly strictly carried out by the teacher. Teacher is presenting these two. And the third phase, what is strengthening of cognitive organization. In this phase, the teacher interact with the students. So there is more interactions occur between student and teacher. Then teacher can recollect the what student learned. Teacher can understand. This is the social system. Social system is the first two phases is controlled by teacher, highly structured. The third phase is interaction occur between student and the teacher. And again I am telling the elements: focus, syntax, social system. Fourth one is principle of reaction. What is the principle of reaction between the teacher and the student? The teacher react to pupils' reactions by way of giving clarification, differentiation, or by helping them to reconcile with the existing knowledge. In this step, what is teacher is doing? Teacher is react with the pupils and clarifying and differentiating that to help the reconcile with the existing knowledge. That means connecting with the new knowledge to existing knowledge, helping the teacher. The last step, the last element is support system. So support is system. What is support system? Support system is what learning aid or what learning material is used to teach. Here the concept. Concept teach teacher use the learning material well organized material and another supporting system. It may be chart or picture or video that are the mainly used supporting system. So I'm concluding my topic, advanced organizer model. It is mainly proposed by who? David Oswell, and the main focus of the advanced organizer model is strengthening cognitive structure. What is advanced organizer? Advanced organizer is the background knowledge presented by the teacher in advance is known as advanced organizer. There are two types of advanced organizer. What are the expository and comparative? Expository means basic concept firstly giving, then specific concept. Then what is the comparative? The name indicates relating advanced organizer. Then we studied what syntax, three phases. First one, presentation of advanced organizer. Second one, presentation of the learning task or material. Third one, strengthening of cognitive structure. Then we studied the social system. Social system, first two phases, teacher is highly structured, teacher is concentrating. Then the third phase is interacting with the student. Then we studied principle of reaction. Principle of reaction means teacher clarifying the concept by discussing them. The last one is support means the learning material. It may be chart, video, anything it's used. I hope you clear about advanced organizer model. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Reeba. You've done very nicely, and your presentation was really very systematic. This I want to add because this model is not that much familiar to us. So yeah, so I am I'm adding very few points. That is, this theory of advanced organizer model is concerned with meaningful verbal learning, how knowledge is organized, how mind works to to process new information, how teacher can apply these ideas about curriculum and learning when they present new material to students. So in short, you can say we are caring much for the cognitive domain of the student in advanced organizer model. So here the main role of the teacher is as an organizer itself. That is, even if the teacher presents information through various structures, the teacher is providing tasks to learner to integrate all the components in a systematic manner. And then by organizing the content, the student will become master of the information. So this is how this model works irrespective of other two models which we discussed before, ITM and CAM. Here the concepts or the ideas, facts are directly given to the student. Student does not have to extract it. We are giving directly to that. But how it can be structured, that depends upon the preparation of the student. So that's the difference between all the two. So this tool helps the students to attain the concepts of science very systematically in their minds, because once it is organized by themselves, it will remain there, and it helps for a long retention of information. So thank you, Reeba. For today, we are concluding the session. We will continue tomorrow. Thank you.